And I got pretty overheated there, and the sun was baking down right here on this side of the house, so the basement porch wasn't shaded like it was earlier. I went in the basement, sat down in there to take a break for a little bit and cool off. I didn't realize how much overheated I was till I sat down in there. It took a while to cool off. I wound up taking a nap for a while. I come out and I just finished this end stand here. It's all nailed together, all square and nice. It's getting late in the day and now I see Judy's bringing me up some dinner. So put the tools and stuff away now for the day, and then tomorrow I'll come out and figure out how I'm going to put those side pieces on there to finish putting that thing together. Well, I had to go to work this morning and go flying. It took about 5 hours to deal with that, so I didn't get a very good early start today, and it's already hot. So I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do. I got to figure out how now I'm going to stand those end stands up so that I can put the long pieces on. So I guess that's what's next. See if I don't die of heat exhaustion doing this today. Well, I guess that worked. I got a 2x4 and nailed in just one nail into one of those uprights on that one end stand and stood it up, and it's kind of leaning against that 2x4. Maybe I should get another one and go the other way so I can stand that thing up and get it more vertical, more straight. It's kind of leaning pretty good right now. Now that top cross piece is way too high for me to get up there to do it from here, so I'll have to get a ladder out here to nail it on there. I guess I better get the bottom one on first and then get some diagonal bracing or something before I put the top one on. So what we want on here is 6 feet or slightly less from the cross bucks to the cross bucks on there, the cross pieces from the cross pieces on there. So that tank is 6 feet long, just a shy over 6 feet. That's what we want, is just shy under 6 feet. Alright, that's 71 inches on the bottom on this side, which is fine because that bottom cross piece on this end, on the closest end, is ½ inch thinner than the ones on the top. The other three are ½ inch thicker than that one. They're 1 3/4 inches, and that one on the bottom, 2 3/4 inches, and the one on the bottom there is just almost exactly 2. Well, the two bottom stretchers are on there. I've only got one screw each in each end of those, into each timber. I was thinking I'd do that, put one screw each in it, and I'd be able to adjust it to make sure it was square. But measuring it right now, everything looks like it's pretty good. I've got 71.5 inches between the outside ends of those top timbers, the cross pieces, and the whole thing feels pretty square. That thing it seems to be pretty skookum to me. I get those top two timbers in there, that thing's going to be pretty stout. So now I got to figure out how I'm going to climb up there and put those top two timbers in. My measurements, the diagonals and everything are already square, but my wife helped me take measurements and stuff, and we got it lined up and squared up, and so that's pretty good. So I was going to cut these two bottom timbers off, the two stretchers off, so that they were the same length as what the 6x6s are apart, and then just leave the upper one stick out so that I could have an overhang over the end of the tank that's got all the filler stuff in it, the outlet, the hose, and all of that stuff. I was just thinking maybe if I left this one stick out, I could put a little platform in there to store stuff on or something. I don't know, we'll have to wait. Well, I guess that thing's pretty much done. But anyway, that's as much as I'm going to do with it for now. I'm going to have to find a place to move it to get it out of the way. And then I've got to get the tank out and plumb it. I've still got to put a filler neck on it and a vent neck on it, and of course the outlet, and get all that all plumbed in before I get it ready for fuel. See what I can do about putting this thing away. Forecast was for thunder showers yesterday and today. It hasn't happened. It got overcast yesterday and cooled off a little bit. Sprinkled a little bit overnight, but not enough to even settle the dust here on the driveway. Just a little bit of damp on the dog's fur this morning. It's supposed to have cooled off, but boy, when that sun comes out, it's just cooking out here. This weather's supposed to change and it's supposed to get back into the rain pattern here in a couple of days. We're still taking advantage of this good weather while we can. Judy's down there painting up the trim on the cabin, getting ready for company. My cousin's coming up in the middle of July, and my brother and some other friends are coming up in that period of time too. So she's scrubbing things up, getting it ready for company. I got the fuel tank all set up now. I got the stand put there. I had a pile of lumber there. I moved it out of the way. We got some concrete pads that I put it on. Back when I poured the basement for the house, I set up some forms so that any extra concrete that was left over when we got done, we could use for something. And anyway, I made these concrete pads for them. We've got a few more of them scattered around being used for other things, but I had 4 of them sitting over there in my scrap metal pile. I dug those out and set those down there. Set the stand up on those so that way it's not right on the ground. Got the tank set up in there, and then I had to go get some plumbing supplies. The fuel supplier came out today and filled up the tank. Now, I'd always thought that was a 300-gallon tank, but once I got to fooling with it, there's a tag on it that says it's 550 gallons. So we put 540 gallons in it, and so that should get me through quite a bit of time. I won't have to be filling up 5-gallon cans in town and dragging them home and holding them up chest high or over my head to dump in this equipment anymore. I can just pull the equipment up alongside of there, stick the hose nozzle in there, and dump some fuel in it. So the stand's not quite finished yet. I still gotta put a roof over it so that the snow and rain and everything will slide off of it. And then I want to close in around it on the stand and put a floor in on those longer stretchers there, and a door and everything, so I can put my 5-gallon cans in there. But a friend of ours is coming up to go fishing in a couple weeks, and he is a busy guy. He doesn't like to sit still or anything, and he wants to do something here to help out. And I've told him the best thing he can do when he comes up here is relax and go fishing and kick back. But he's not the kind of guy to kick back and relax. He wants a project to do. So I can give him 2 choices of projects. I've got to work on the cistern next. The water is down in it to the point where we're doing our last load of laundry, and then I'm going to start washing the cistern out, and I'll put that new pan decking, roof decking material on there that I got for a cover over it. And then we'll get ready to put the floor joists in for the addition onto the house there. He can take his pick of which one he wants to do, whether he wants to work on the fuel tank stand here or wants to do that. Like I said, I don't expect him to do much. I just want him to stay here and have a good time. But he wants to do something, we'll give him something to do. Well, another beautiful day here in southeast Alaska. My friend Joe and my brother and nephew Jake and their friend Gary came up to go fishing. And now they're scared to go fishing because the weather's too bad. So Joe's in here keeping busy, wanting to build stuff. And so I turned him loose with some 2x4s and some other stuff, and he's going to build a roof over the oil tank for me.
Didn't help that when we declared we were heading out, we were given a stern, disapproving shake of the head from my uncle.
I was just thinking, sissy fishermen won't go out in the bad weather.
Yeah. Yeah, they run by Safeway on the way home.
Didn't help that when we got down to the beach and found out it was a couple feet past the ramp.
Yeah, the big low tide this morning or this afternoon, so they couldn't launch the boat. So, and then I was just as happy they decided not to go because it's supposed to blow 30 or 40 out there today, this afternoon. So.
I'm much happier doing this than.
Now there's a saying in aviation that it's better to be on the ground wishing you were in the air than in the air wishing you were on the ground.
That's a good one. I like that.
And it's very damn true.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is the way I like to build things. Let Joe do it.
Run the camera.
I'll go up and take a nap now. I got up early this morning.
No. We need a cameraman.
Oh, the camera can run itself. All I do is sit here and make snide comments.
Perfect for a cameraman.
That's my contribution. Well, it's all quiet around here again now for a while. We just took the last of our guests up to the airport to leave. Joe left today. My brother, my nephew, and my brother's friend Gary, and my cousins left yesterday. So Joe, with a little help from Gary, built the trusses for the roof over my fuel tank. They got those put up yesterday, so now I've got to go find some tin to put up on the roof, cover that up to finish it. It's probably not going to be for a couple days because we got another big storm coming in. It's starting to rain now. It's supposed to rain up to an inch tonight, an inch tomorrow, and blow 30 or 40 tomorrow, so won't be getting much done here today or tomorrow. I'm supposed to fly tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. So, Joe also built a nice set of steps to go up into the house, into the little porch there for the house. So that was nice. We've just had a block of wood there and stepping up on there, but now we got some steps. We'll probably have to do something to keep the rain off of it, I suppose. But anyway, that finishes up his project. Doesn't quite finish up the fuel tank project though. I still got to put the roof on it, the tin on the roof, and I want to put some sheeting around both sides of it there to close it in underneath the fuel tank. Well, that's disappointing. The forecast said we were going to have a few nice days again. Back in June, we had about 2 weeks of really nice, hot, dry weather. It was almost too hot, but I was able to get quite a bit of stuff done outside. Then it turned off to normal southeast Alaska weather, and it's been that way ever since for a month here or more, with 50-degree nighttime temperatures and 60-degree daytime temperatures, and pretty much rain. Sunday we had heavy rain. But they had a forecast then that said that we were going to have a week of nice, dry weather. Well, that didn't hold up long enough for them to put the forecast out, basically. I think she said Sunday wind blew and we had pretty heavy rain. Monday was wet. Tuesday it did start clearing up, but it was foggy most of the day and damp. Yesterday was Wednesday. It was beautiful yesterday. It cleared up and it was warm. Flying all day yesterday. It was almost too warm to fly. It was pretty hot in the airplane. But now we're back to the drizzle and rain and crap again, and with no end of that in sight. Well, as I said before, my friend Joe was here last week. We had a few days when it quit drizzling and quit raining for a few hours at a time, and they were here mostly to go fishing. But he and Gary did put together the trusses and put them up on top of my oil drum stand. Well, that was pretty nice. And then I stayed busy flying and the weather was crap, so I didn't get much done until Tuesday. Then I started dragging out some roofing metal and putting up. I got half of the roof put up on there. The other side, I got it all put on, and then run out of daylight and had to quit. Got one piece on this side, but then had to quit. And then yesterday, wife had some projects for me. Like I said, I flew all day, late into the day, and then some stuff came up in the afternoon and I wasn't able to get back to this. Now I'll see if I can at least get it on there, because the half that the roof is on is looking pretty good. That's staying pretty dry. And of course the half the roof's not on is still wet underneath it. So anyway, I just went and cut some more roofing metal, and we'll see if I can't get that put on there. We're kind of scavengers, I guess you might say. We've gone out to places when they were putting new roofs on houses and buildings and talked to the contractors and got a lot of the old roofing that we've got. And it's used and some of it's rusty and whatnot. It's not in the best shape. But it's good enough to use to put over like my lumber piles and stuff to help dry them out. And we've used them on some of the old sheds and buildings and stuff around here. That's what I got now. I just dug out another piece of that. I've taken 2 pieces so far and cut them up into chunks to go up on the roof. And I just drug out another piece. I've got it cut up into 3 pieces now, and I'll get that. At least 3 more pieces on the roof. I'm going to get soaking wet. The problem with this is this weather, you get soaking wet in it, working in it, but it's hard on the equipment, especially electric equipment, the saws and stuff. But it's really hard on these battery-operated machines, these battery-operated tools. So I've got a battery-operated impact driver to use to put the roofing screws in there. And when those things get wet, it kind of ruins them. Anyway, I'll get it out there and get a couple of these put on and try to keep that thing from getting too wet, my impact driver. But what I used for cutting that roofing steel was this skill saw, circle saw. And it's a Harbor Freight Chicago Electric that I had my son get, but what we had him get was this blade. It's a carbide tip blade, and it's advertised for cutting metal, and I've used it for cutting pipe and cutting some other metal for some things that I build around here. I forgot that I had it, and I don't know how much different it is than a regular wood cutting blade. Well, the teeth are pretty close together on there, but anyway, it does work pretty good for metal, and that's what I used to cut that roofing metal with, was that. Alright, I'm going to go grab one of those pieces now and snake it up there on the roof and see if I can't get it nailed down. This is my impact driver. I really like that. That's a pretty good little tool. And I got the same M18 Milwaukee lithium battery on it that I use on the other tools and stuff, but it holds up pretty good. Yeah, probably not going to get any video of putting the roof on there. It's just too wet out there to put the camera out. Keep it underneath the awning here on the basement. Well, that's enough of being out in the rain on the roof for one day for this old fat man. I'm not near as comfortable up there on that roof as I used to be. I need one more piece to go on the end to finish that out, and then a ridge cap to go up on top. But I'm going to need to trim those too. They're too wide. They hang over too much over the boards there. The snow will just bend them over, and the wind will start working them and stuff, and they'll come up. So I'm going to have to trim those off. The roof is finished on the fuel tank. Just got done with it. I trimmed up a piece for this side over here to fit on that back end, and then I went up and took the one off of the other side and brought it down and trimmed it up too so it didn't hang over so much off the back. And then I went up and dug out a ridge cap. Now, it's all the same stuff. It's rusty old crappy stuff that we salvaged and it's been laying up here in the muck for years, but it will be plenty good enough for that. I'm done with that now for a while. I'm not going to do anything else with that. I got too many other things that are more important right now that I want to do. Well, I got to go dig out some more roofing metal up there, some more tin, and cut it up. My wife's building a little cage for her geese where she's got a problem with the mink coming in, and it's killed quite a few of her birds, including Tommy. It came back and got Tommy again, plus a bunch of new guineas that guinea fowl that she had hatched and just got big enough to put out in the chicken pen, and the 3 golden pheasant chicks that she hatched and one of her new baby geese that she hatched this spring and this summer, and maybe a couple of more of her chickens or something that she hatched earlier. Well, anyway, she's going up and putting all of her birds away every night now, locking them up where the mink can't get to them. But the problem is she didn't really have any place to put her geese, so we're making a pen with some hardware cloth and stuff, or she's making it, to put her geese in. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go up and get some more tin and cut up to put a roof over that little pen. So the geese don't stay in it full time, she just herds them in there at night to protect them from that damn mink. Anyway, we're done with that for now.